there. Sorry, I was looking at something else. Hello. I am doing something new. Do you like my layout, my overlay that I did? I am very proud of it. It makes me very happy. And I was kind of just going off of the vibe of the game that I'm going to be playing. I call it a game because it's a puzzle book. It's escape room. And everything that I'm reading in it sounds like it's just a solo TTRPG. So that's why I have this in this category and all of that. Thank you. I'm very proud of the layout. But yeah, so this is a Sherlock Holmes Escape Book, The Adventure of the London Waterworks. It says, solve the puzzles to escape the pages. And it's by Ormond Sacker. I think I got this at the church converted into a bookstore in, I want to say it's Zwolle, and I'm terrible with pronunciation for Netherlands, so shoulder shrug. But yeah, I got this. It looks really cool, and the decoder here is actually a decoder. So, let me toss that link into the chat. Let's see, Moobot, there you are. Holmes, there you go. So if you want to be able to use the decoder wheel as well, you can click on that link in the chat and you're able to do the things too. I already took a photo of the first one that has to be done. I kind of know it already, but I wanted to include viewers with this. So I probably will not be doing this entire book in one session. I will split this up into several, which is fine. But let me just finish what I was getting to and then we can get started. There we go. I was trying to get over to the stream manager in case you were wondering. But yes, there we go. Perfect. So I'm going to read the little intro here. It says, beware, you are about to enter an escape book. If you don't know what one of those is, then perhaps I should explain. An escape book is a form of puzzle book in which the unwary reader may become trapped for eternity. It is an escape room in the form of a book. You can decide on your own path, but your choice is often controlled by the solutions you give to the puzzles that you encounter along the way. You must solve the puzzles to escape the pages. Also, I just remembered I forgot to say, it's very cold here, so all three of the dogs are snuggled up on a bed underneath my desk. So I'm sorry if you hear any snores during this. Anyway. Some puzzles will offer you alternative routes according to your solution. Others will invite you to calculate the next entry you should turn to. When this happens, you should check the from number to ensure that you came from the right location and are still on the right path. If you have arrived from the wrong place, you should turn back and think again. Not all wrong solutions will end the story. As befits an adventure in which you play the role of Sherlock Holmes, this book is far more cunning than that. Some wrong answers may have unforeseen consequences further down the path, causing you to miss a helpful clue or even land a red herring. While you are trapped inside the escape book, you should pay attention to everything you see. Once the game is afoot, there are all manner of clues hidden in the pages. Use Watson's notebook, which you will discover shortly, to record your observations. Some of these notes might be needed to solve later puzzles. You will also be required to master the code wheel, which is that thing. The code wheel, located on the cover of the book, of which more later. If you are struggling with your art of deduction, you will find some helpful hints and clues and even the answers located at 221A and 221B at the back of the book. There is more than one door through which you can exit the escape book. Some doors are marked with success, others with infamy. Only the most observant of detectives will find an escape route that results in newspaper headlines proclaiming their heroic success. So yeah, it's an adventure, like a choose-your-own-adventure book meets solo journaling game, although maybe solo journaling games are a little bit like choose-your-own adventures? I don't know, but I saw it and it looked fun, so Anyway, and then there are arrows at the bottom, much like Choose Your Own Adventure games. So these arrows direct you to your next entry. Now all great adventures begin by turning the first page. Okay, so here's Watson's notebook. And there are times that are important. Okay, so use this notebook to jot down anything of interest you encounter during your adventure. You may find it helps you to solve a later puzzle. I'm going to write it down on a regular piece of paper because I very rarely believe in writing in books. That sounds bad. I have a piece of paper. We'll start with that. Okay. So pay particular attention to time. You're in a race against the clock, but you may also find that the clock is your friend. And there are 5 lines for clocks. So I will just make a note of that. Sometimes you might have only the hour or the minutes, but they are still worth recording in the table above. Note, unlike in Italy, Britain has not yet embraced Sir Sandford Fleming's proposal to use the 24-hour clock, so you and Watson should continue to use only the 12-hour clock. Okay. Hidden in the escape book are 2 passages from Sherlock Holmes' original adventures. Should you discover them, note them here. There are 2. And then there's a section for notes and observations that's honestly relatively short. I feel like you need more space, but who knows? Okay, and then in fancy scrolling writing, it says, Holmes believes the key to this adventure can be found in 3 parts. On their own, they might not make sense, but once we've found them all, we might avoid unlocking doors we do not wish to pass through. Holmes asked that I bring along my periodic table. It can be found at the back of this book. So we apparently also need the periodic table, which, ta-da! I feel like that's not very... Oh, and there's spaces for notes on here as well. I feel like having the periodic table right next to where the answers is not a smart move. I feel like it should have been like right after Watson's notebook. Personal opinion, but okay. If you have yet to begin your adventure, turn over the page. Feel free to refer to Watson's notebook at any time. Okay, so the story. There's a little bit of setup here. So, in the upcoming adventure, you will take on the role of the world's most famous consulting detective, Sherlock Holmes, as he becomes trapped within a dastardly plot. You will see everything from his point of view, you will attempt to solve the puzzles with his powers of deduction, and you will be him. You might even find a magnifying glass helpful. Oh, okay. So try to think in the way that Sherlock thinks. As he/you once said, I like the transition there. In Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's The Sign of 4, 1890, when you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Also, I don't know if that counts, but that's a passage from one of the original adventures. I feel like that counts because that's part of the story. So, yeah. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, and that is in all caps, must be the truth. I feel like that's one of the first clues. Sneaky, sneaky. Let's see. You will be accompanied, of course, by your faithful companion, Dr. John H. Watson. He will offer you words of advice, a voice of reason, and a steady hand on a revolver in times of peril. You should also make good use of his notebook to record his observations that may help with your escape. The adventure is set in a real pumping station, the London Waterworks of the title, which today has become the London Museum of Water and Steam. Oh, interesting. At Kew Bridge. The chimney has been taken down. It had developed an alarming lean and earned the local nickname of the Leaning Tower of Brentford. And water is no longer pumped into London from the site, but the beam engines are still there, and furthermore you can visit them and see them in glorious steam. Fun. The standpipe tower remains as it was in Holmes' time, in Watson's time, that we're Holmes, an elegant landmark by the river. If you search the 1880s archives of the Old Bailey, where Newgate Jail was located at the time of this adventure, you can read some of the words of the real Mr. Sidney Robert Smith in the court transcripts. Oddly, he never mentions his involvement with the dreadful events in the pumping station, or his encounter with those two most special gentlemen, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. Yeah, the subtitles are technology. Technology. Hang on. I changed my tech gremlins. I will redeem this.
20 seconds to self-destruct.
Technology hates me. Yeah, let's see. Sorry, I didn't read the comments because I was trying to get through that section. It was Colonel Mustard in the library with the candlestick. Mitesh, wrong detective. I've driven past that loads of times. Brentford is down the road from my area. Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. Okay, so that's our story, and I think that we got our first clue with the sign of 4. And then info about the code wheel. Basically, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but basically, these are the inputs. Right. These are the inputs, and that creates outputs of colors here, and then there are numbers and letters. So all 3 of these potentially can be related. And these are like little dancy guys. See? They're fun. Joop. And letters on the input as well. So there's little dancy guys and there are letters. Okay. So, yes. And if you weren't here before, Holmes, not Humes. There you go. There's the link to be able to access the wheel yourself if you want to do the riddles. So in some puzzles, you'll discover coded messages in the form of unintelligible notes, strings of random numbers, or secret symbols hidden in the story. Using the code wheel, input your discoveries in the relevant input dial, and then decode them with the relevant output dial. So, for example, I'm going to reveal our first code that I took a picture of earlier. Now, I personally know what the answer is because I started this and then I was just like, this would be really cool to stream. So I stopped. But if you want to take a guess or try it out yourselves, I feel like it's a little bit easier digitally. And I would have done a screen share to like scroll through it, but the screen share didn't move it because of however that website was set up. But I will give you a clue for the first one. The first letter is B. Where, oh, where could we be going? Exactly, it's Baker Street. And this is one that we didn't actually need to solve to go on because the next page is this. Yeah, so those over there, that reads out Baker Street. Yes, 221B to be precise. Okay, so now we have a little bit of exposition. The rain has stopped, and the clouds are already parting to reveal a yellow fingernail moon. You look from the bow window? The bow window? Bay window? Anyway, to the far side of the street, where a curious-looking couple are standing in the dim light of the gas lamp. Dr. Watson joins you, his curiosity piqued. Do you know them, Holmes? He asks. I do not, you reply, but the young woman is clearly here to deliver some sort of document. A moment later, the woman is hurrying across the door to the door below with an envelope in her hand. Her companion watches her and then slowly lifts his head to look up at you. He is wearing a long coat, and his broad arms are holding a heavy bundle wrapped in what appears to be a blanket. The man's face is hidden by the shadow of his wide-brimmed hat. I don't like the look of that cove, mutters Watson. You hear the flap of the letterbox downstairs. Across the road, the man has already turned and is marching away into the London gloom. The woman hurries to catch up with him. Mrs. Hudson has already retired for the night. Watson, would you mind? Not at all, says your companion, hurrying off to collect the envelope. The envelope contains a note. It has been torn in a manner suggesting precision. In stark contrast, the envelope in which it was delivered is intact and uncreased. And I did not prep this one. I'm going to take a picture of this, get it on my computer, and pop it up for you guys to see. Let's just get that. And I will add an image source. Browse. Let's see. Because this is from my phone, it might not like the file type. Nope. Of course, it can't be that easy. Okay. Hold on just a squidge. I just took a screenshot of it. Way easier. Okay. Browse. Where are you? Screenshot. Oh, I'm in the downloads. Oop. A little too big. Here, I'll cover myself up for now. Yes, so there was a woman and a man. It's raining, and it looked like the man was like carrying a baby or something, but we couldn't see him or what he was carrying. Yeah, so this says, Newgate Prison tomorrow morning before the sun rises. Planned breakout to free prisoner Sebastian Moran. Moriarty's conspirators meeting at the pumping station, Kew Bridge, late tonight. Read my letter again when when 3 clues combine. Holmes, are you brave enough to do what it takes to succeed? And I'm curious because there are some of these in red. THIR 39. The red letters say 39. I'm going to make a note of that. Okay, I'm going to uncover myself now. There we go. Hey, Tim. So we are solving riddles. Okay, so we have 39 spelled out. So I'm going to spell it out. So we've had a creepy letter dropped off in our letterbox. Here, I'll show it again to you just in case you didn't see it. So all of the letters have been cut out of newspapers, and the red letters say 39. Right? It's super fun. I'm excited about it. Okay. So we've studied the note carefully. We have this clue about 39. And now it says to turn to page 104. Is it page 104? No, just 104. Each of these things are numbered. So number 104 is what I'm going to. Okay. Continuation from page 1, or number 1, so it's correct. So, still says 221B Baker Street. You sit down at your writing desk, light up your pipe, and inspect the note. Watson makes himself comfortable in a chair by the fire and waits for you to think things through. It's not quite a solo TTRPG. It's kind of like it, though. It's a combination choose your own adventure book and escape room. And so it really feels like it is a solo TTRPG because of that. So that's why I chose the category I did. It's like the closest I could get to it. Yeah, and apparently this is like a series. So that's kind of fun here. And I will toss that link in again. So anytime there are riddles and clues to solve, this thing up here is actually on that link. And so I'll pop them up like the one that direction, the one I have here, which reads, well, if you weren't here, you can use the thing and try to solve it. Yeah, so input, output, and you can solve the clues too. Let's see, where was I? Okay. You examine the paper and the pasted letters, noting every detail and implication, and lean back as you think of what you know and what you don't. The message is clearly from that arch-villain Moriarty, who will inevitably be behind this. Sebastian Moran is his man after all, and you know, because it is your business to know such things, that he is indeed currently incarcerated in Newgate. But where Moriarty is concerned, there's usually more to the matter. You carefully slide the note back into its envelope and slip it into your pocket. And there's, in parentheses, it says, feel free to refer to it at any time. Okay. You also make sure Watson has picked up his pocket notebook. It will be helpful if you need to record any clues from the events that are likely to unfold in the course of the night ahead of you. He also picks up his periodic table from the desk. This can be referred to at the back of the book. You stand clear and clear your throat loudly. Watson, shall we? You have spent so long sitting at your desk that the doctor's head has nodded forward and he is nearly asleep. He splutters slightly as he recovers. Shall I bring my revolver? He asks, rising from the chair. Heavens no, you reply. We're going a-spying, not killing. You grasp your coat from the coat stand and stride out of the room, down the stairs, and out onto Baker Street. Half a minute later, Watson joins you. You flag down a hansom cab. Where to, sirs? Asks the driver. And then in quotes it says, to Kew Bridge, turn to 18. I love puzzles. I love riddles. This is exactly my jam. So photo, like drawing, beautiful, beautiful artwork. I love it. So now we are on the tower. The carriage wheels splash through the puddles dotting the damp streets. Residential London is already sleeping, and the houses you see are mostly dark. Candles have been snuffed out and curtains drawn. When you are halfway across Kew Bridge, you call to the driver to halt the cab, hand him the fare, and disembark. The Thames is a black strip below you. There are some barges tied up and a few river people going about their evening's nautical business. As the cab rattles away, Watson leans over the parapet to watch a couple of flat-cap boys bumping a skiff along the bank. On one of the barges, a boatman lowers a lamp that was hanging from a mast and extinguishes it. People do put out their lights before bedding down for the night, so you've probably just witnessed a regular twilight event. Or a signal, perhaps. It's usually impossible to tell the two apart, but as you turn towards the pumping station, your destination, you see an orange light flash in reply near the top of the tower. Watson sees it too. Dashed odd to have windows up a chimney, he says. He often surprises you with how he thinks. You had been considering the signal, not the architecture. Never mind. That's not a chimney, Watson. That's a standpipe tower with stairs all the way up inside it. The chimney is the shorter one, set further back. You pause, with smoke coming out of it. You stride towards the pumping station, and Watson, as ever, follows close behind. You wonder at the large number of crows in the sky. Interesting. Oh, Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? If you count an even number of crows, turn to 9. If you count an odd number of crows, turn to 11. I have to count the crows in the sky. Oh, goodness. Okay, but does that count the one that's standing here? I'm thinking no. I'm thinking the ones that are not actually in the sky do not count. Oh, they're tricksy. Okay. So, I loved the artwork and now I don't like it. Let's see if I can show it to you. Ah! Sorry, Moobot just made an announcement. Be honest, are you hearing Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch? Actually, no. My favorite is, what's it called? Elementary. The one that's based in New York. I like that one more. You'd say it would count? Well, you know what? We can make a note of that. So, okay, let's see if... Okay, you're probably not going to be able to see anything, but I will count them. 1, 2, 3... No. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's a bat. Oh no, there's some bats in here too. Yeah, there's some bats. It's not just crows. Oh god. Okay, starting again. I have to actually look closely at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, 13. I think the rest of these are bats. These ones look like bats to me. Yeah, no what? I don't have one. What did I say, 13? Yeah, 13. Well, and part of the problem is the gradient makes the transition makes it a little bit hard. But it looks like 13 to me, and I am not counting the one that is standing. Yeah, no what? Okay, so I counted an odd number of crows. I'm curious how many bats there are. The bats would not have made a difference, actually. I see 4 bats. Actually, there are 5 bats. So yeah, they might have made a difference. Anyway. But one of them is hanging. No worries. Hopefully you'll get your tech issues fixed. Okay, so I'm turning to page 11 because I think that there are 13 crows. I'll actually note that. And there are 5 bats. Just in case. Okay, so turning to number 11. Oh, wrong direction. Need to go back. Focus. Watson pauses and you turn to face him. I don't know what we might I don't know what we might be about to get into, Sherlock, he says. But whatever it is, I need you to be on the top of your game. Focus. You have no idea what he means, unless perhaps you made a mistake counting those crows. I'm not going to look at 9. I'm gonna keep going based off of what I saw. So you head towards the gates, turn to 84. Okay, 84. Ooh, interesting. So that's 84. Let's see. It says an unexpected opening. You walk alongside the railings until you come to the gates of the Grand Junction Waterworks pumping station. This is the place that day and night pushes water out to other parts of London, urging it through reservoirs and filter beds, providing a supply that drips, sloshes, or gushes from standpipes and house taps in places as far apart as Ealing, Paddington, and beyond. A little brazier glows near the entrance at the foot of the tower, and as you look through the railings, you see the door open. A watchman appears, a heavy coat over his shoulders. He steps out of the door and up to the brazier. Turning his back to you, he warms his hands above the fire. The gates in front of you have been, surprisingly, left ajar. So it says, dither by the gates, turn to 108, go through the gates, turn to 60, or look for an alternative entrance, turn to 5. What do you guys think we should do? Wait, isn't there a thing for doing a poll? Yes. Create new poll. I'll do it this way. Pick one. So, gates. No, wait. Dither by... Oh, I wrote ditch. I can type dither by gates. Go in gates. Find Alternative. So duration, no. Well, we will decide once people have selected. There you go. There's a poll. It's very exciting. I've never done a poll before. Okay, I'm seeing go in gates so far. I'm learning how these things work. I'll give it another couple of seconds. Okay, we've got 2 votes for go in gates, so I'm going to say we're going in the gates then. I like this. So go in the gates, turn to 60. Would be bad if we tied the vote. Yes, this is true. Okay, so, yep, go in the gates is the winner. So at the entrance yard, you signal to Watson to step lightly. Both of you slip through the open gate into the entrance yard. Oh, hey, this is also from 108, so I think that that would have been it no matter what. Yeah, dither by the gates also leads to going through. Okay. You signal to Watson to step lightly. Both of you slip through the open gate into the entrance yard. You point towards the front of the main building. Now I'm wondering if we missed something. The doors are elegant and tall, and a light from the inside shines through the fan-light window above them. Watson nods to indicate that he has understood your intention. A handcart overloaded with coal has been left beside the doors, which will help conceal you from the watchman should he look over his shoulder towards the building. Keeping low, you both quickly make your way across the yard. Approach the door, turn to 112. Okay, a cart full of coal, it says. Here, I'm going to... Oh, that's annoying. I'm going to read it, and then y'all can look at a periodic table. Pull it up. Let's see. A cart full of coal. The door is in shadow, but your eyes are keen enough to spot some dark splashes on the stone steps leading up to them. Beyond the door, you can hear the muffled rhythm of the working engines. Okay, Tim, you'll be a huge help. Watson tries the handle with his gloved hand. It turns easily. As soon as he pushes the door open, the sound of the steam engine surges through. You both step quickly inside, and Watson shuts the door behind you as fast as he can without slamming it. You've taken only 2 steps away from the door when there's a commotion outside as someone, the watchman perhaps, rams a heavy object against the other side of it. A tumbling percussion follows, sounding suspiciously like a cart full of coal being suddenly unloaded. The clamor abruptly dies down, and Watson tries the door. The handle turns, but exactly as you knew it would not, the door won't shift. The good doctor throws his shoulder against it, but it moves not an inch. Watson walks forward into the center of the entrance hall, but you're looking at the ground, where there are more splashes of dark liquid on the flagstone by your feet. You stoop down, touch it with your finger, and sniff. You look for more splashes. They are just where you anticipated them to be, dotting a path to the open office door straight ahead of you. Watson looks back at you. Good heavens, Holmes, is it blood? If I'm correct, the chemical makeup of this is, ready for this, Tim? Lead, cadmium, chromium, manganese, cobalt, arsenic, bismuth, and I don't know how to say this, molybdenum? Molybdenum? Oh, goodness. Something more serious, then, says Watson. He looks worried. Yeah, I'll go more slowly. I'll finish it. He looks worried as he flicks through his notebook to his periodic table. Okay, so lead, cadmium, chromium. I'm waiting. We need the sum of the atomic numbers. Okay, manganese, cobalt, arsenic, bismuth. I'm waiting. And molybdenum. I have no clue how to pronounce that. Yeah. I don't know how to say that one. Molybdenum? I knew bismuth because it's the bisexual one. Yeah, so we need the atomic numbers. We need to see if they are even or odd. So, do we want to do the math? Let's see. I'm curious if the order of them also matter. Not that in calculating it matters, but I wonder if the order of that he said them in matters as well in general. God, I have not looked at a periodic table in forever. Okay. I'm just going to write down C, D, C, R. Hey, there's a critical role one. M, N, C, O. Oop, I'm getting off the line. That's fine. B, I. Oh, there we go. Okay, and we don't even need to do the full math. We just need to look if there's an odd number of odd numbers. Okay. Nope, I've got two 27s in here. There are 4 of them? Okay, so that means that it's an even number. So 36. Uh-oh, we have an ad break. We have an ad break. I'm gonna dance. That's gonna be weird for people who are watching the VOD, but you know, I'll just have some hot chocolate while I'm waiting. That's fine. Okay, yeah, just let me know when you're gonna be getting over here. Just text me. For context, Tim is coming for dinner. Yay! Oh, that's interesting. Given what I am drinking, this is entertaining me. Let me know in the chat when you are finished, when the ad break is finished. Also, I hope you all enjoy the fact that I say that you're all detectives. I thought that was a fun little nod. That made me happy. But in any case, my computer says that the ad break finishes in about 15 seconds. We shall see. But I hope y'all are having fun with this so far. I'm enjoying it. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, sounds good. Perfect. Okay, I think that we're back. I just didn't want to continue on with the ad break happening. In any case, we are at the main office. Yay, picture. And it says, "No, Watson, you say? Cocoa. Spilled cocoa. That is all." Huzzah. Yeah, so it is hot chocolate, which I found very entertaining because that's what I'm drinking. So, Watson continues into the office. It is a tall but windowless room lit by a lamp. The rug on the floor appears to have been disturbed, as if something heavy has been dragged over it. You observe 2 more spots of cocoa and automatically extrapolate that the path their position implies. There's a desk with some books, ledgers, and a newspaper on it. Opposite the desk is a row of filing cabinets. In a corner of the room is a stove with a jug on it. A carriage clock shows the time is precisely 19 minutes to midnight, and we needed to note times. So, oh God, doing that. 41. So, 11:41. It's number 36. I'm just making a note of where we found it, because we need 5 times. I don't think 39 was related to time. It just said 39. But in any case, on one wall is a portrait of Queen Victoria set within a gold-painted wooden frame. The frame is dusty except for 2 places about a third of the way down on each of its left and right edges. So someone had grabbed it. At the far end of the room are 3 doors, and you surmise that these lead further into the boiler house, and the engine rooms. Look behind the cabinets, you instruct Watson, having made some deductions. You'll find some poor fellow has been bundled there after being coshed while drinking his cocoa outside. Watson crouches down. To his amazement, there is indeed an inert body rammed behind the cabinets. He drags the man out and quickly checks him for signs of life. The poor fellow is unconscious, a contusion on the back of his head, and his arm looks broken, one finger still through the handle of his enamel cocoa mug. While Watson tries to bring him around, you look at the filing cabinets. One drawer, the one marked H, has been pulled slightly open. Set the code wheel's input letter to H. Wow, they spoon feed here. I mean, I guess, so here's the thing. I'm really big into puzzles, but I know that not everyone is. And they have to do this so that everyone is able to do it and be happy with it. Okay, so I've put the input at H. I see blue, 7, and M. I turn to the number shown. Okay, so I need to go to number 7. Hey, this made me happy. It's a crossword, potentially. Okay, I need to take a picture of this so that you guys can join me with it. Hang on. Oh, and there's some smear on it. Interesting. I am intrigued. And I will remember not to cover up my captions this time. Okay, so opening this up. Does the book come with a physical code wheel? It does, yeah. So the cover is a wheel. So they just have it as a digital option as well. Yeah, I like it. It's really cool. But also it's, because it's very thick, it's kind of a problem. Because it's, see? Okay, there we go. I am changing the image. It makes it so that you have to bend the cover pretty significantly, which I am not as much a fan of. Okay, I'm going to shrink this and put it over here, and then I will reveal it. That might be too small, though. We'll see. Ugh, work meetings. Yay, mysteries. How goes the solving? I think that we're doing decently. We have a crossword now. Yeah, so if you didn't see it, it spins. Spinny, spinny, spin. Okay. So I don't know, like, there's more to the page, though, so we'll see. Okay, 9 across I think we need. So let's see. There is a single brown folder in the H drawer. You lift it out and go to the place it on the desk. But there's a newspaper in the way. As you are about to move it aside, you notice a partially completed word puzzle. Evidently, the steam engine is so reliable that the nights here are spent passing the time with such distractions. As Watson goes about trying to revive the poor man, who is still out cold, you pull back the chair and sit down at the desk. Watson looks up, exasperated. "How are you so calm, Holmes? Someone has just trapped us in here and nearly killed this fellow, and you're proposing to sit and do word puzzles? It may have escaped your notice, but someone might be trying to kill us." "Someone is trying to trap us, not kill us," you explain calmly. "We might know more when you can ask our unconscious friend a few questions, and meanwhile I will go about the business of using my intellect." The puzzle is partially obscured by a sooty thumbprint, but it should still be possible to complete it. Set the code wheel to the 7th letter of the solution to 9 across. Okay, so we don't need to solve the whole thing, but let's see, 9 across. Oh, come on, is covered. If you are flustered by the situation, you could guess, but Sherlock Holmes does not guess. That's tough. I was just like, oh yeah, we're fine. We just need to solve one. But there are, yeah. That is harder than you would think. Okay, so we do actually need to solve a bunch of things. So what's one down? Container made of stiff paper. Let's see, 24 across. I can't quite see it clearly enough to help. Let's see. Can I make it? Let me see if I can make it just a smidge bigger. I just don't want to cover up too much of the captions. Yeah. So let's see. Is there something that we can do more quickly? So 6 bloodsucker from the southern English country. 6 down. Starts with an S, and there's an X, an A, an I, and an E in it. Crosswords. I enjoy them, but it's something that takes time to come up with all the answers. 12 down. Spotted strip. Yeah, if you can come up with some of the solutions, let me know. On the end of Satan's leg, does Satan have hooves? 4 down? No, it starts with, there's an E. Two, a bent male person. Wow, these are interestingly hard. Let's see. I'm thinking vampires, leeches, and mosquitoes. It's a long word, though. Yeah. I think that if we get 6, that will help because 9 is like all the way across. And we can't see 9, of course. 6 down. Bloodsucker from Southern English County, not country. Southern English County. Hey, Paul, let me just text you really quick. No. Because that's where he's from. Let's see, is there... Wait, 8 down might be easy. Triangular brick walls under the end of roofs tripled. Yeah, some kind of cryptid maybe. Tripled. This is hard. How dare you be difficult? So just for context, the answer boxers, number 5 across, the clue is pugilists. And then 13 across is a coca, which is a cocaine shrub. Ooh. Yeah, triangular brick walls under the end of roofs tripled. That's 8 down. It starts, yeah, right. It starts with a T, ends with an E. I mean, some of them are not easy, like apide, but rosin I would get. Pine naphtha for violin. Like, I played violin. I would know rosin. Yeah, and 22 otherwise gold or duh. Okay, so 12 and 18 are both spotted strips. Gables, no, it starts with a T, ends with an E, and it's 5 letters. I can't see clearly enough to know where it fits in the crossword. It's, here, I will I will move things. Now, I will cover up the chat so that it can be a little bit bigger. Does that help? This is an interesting challenge. Spotted strip. No. And we can't see 8 down. Is 8 down? Yeah. So 20 is also that. So it might, 20 across might also, 20 across is gables. Oh, I don't want to write in this though. I'll write very lightly so I can erase it later. Okay, so 20 across is gables. So we've got that one. So 18 down, a spotted strip. The second letter is an A, if that's helpful at all. I wish I could just like write on the screen here, but that would be way too tricky to organize. Both 14 across and 3 down are a pale warrior beheld ironclads in chaos. 14 across and 3 down. Like, what? Oh, 6 across is the same hint as 4 down. Ooh, wait, 9. Aha. 9 across is a container made of stiff paper. Because all of the, in parentheses, everything that's there is like these clues are the same. And there is no 9 down, which means that 9 across, the one that we need to get, is a container made of stiff paper. C-A-R-D-B-O-A-R-D. Cardboard box. It's cardboard box. Cardboardbox. Yep, it fits. Ironclads were warships in the late 1800s. Oh, okay. Right? No, but 9 down, 9 across, all we need is cardboard box. Ha! Okay, I'm going to erase my very light markings now. Did not need to do the entire puzzle. Cardboard box. Okay. So, C-A-R-D-B-O-A. A is the input. Oh, and hey, I was right next to it. So it is green. That was painful. Okay, so we need to go to green, which is number 59. Okay, I'm going to hide this image again. There we go. We are back. Okay, 59. A piece of paper. You prefer to solve more challenging tasks than word puzzles. They are ultimately unsatisfactory because they are artificial and lack any of the rigor and reality of evidence, data, and deduction. Have you cracked it, Holmes? Asked Watson, looking up from the unconscious man. Pushing the newspaper aside, you open the folder that you extracted from the drawer marked H. It contains a single piece of paper with a short message written on it. Turn to number 52. Aha. So we have a little note, and it says, "My dear Holmes." Sherlock's going to feel very silly when he finds out his entire life is artificial, right? Oh, that's funny. Wait, I'm going to check one thing. Let me get back to the crossword clue. 97, 59, 99. Okay, so no matter what happens, you do get to this, which is good. My dear Holmes, there's someone here I really want you to meet. In fact, you're not getting out until you've met him. Enjoy the game. Yours, M. You're not surprised. Your arch-enemy Moriarty engineered your presence here. You suspected as much already. The only question is whether you are equal to the challenge he has set you. It's clear that there's no planning meeting for a Newgate jailbreak, as the note had suggested. That was simply a lie. But something else is going on, and Moriarty is deliberately keeping you here to prevent your interference. Take the original letter out of your pocket, turn to 25. So we have our original letter, which I had already figured out. You look at the original note once more. Some of the letters are underlined. Well, they're in red, but sure. They spell out a number. Turn to the number you have discovered, which was 39. The governor. From 76. Okay, hang on. I'm going to look at that again. Because it says come from 76, which is not the case. 39. Yeah, it says 39. I don't know. Oh, underlined. Maybe it's a different number. Ah, there's a different number. Here, let me switch sources again and you can look at this with me. Oop, too big. Shrink. Doop, doop, doop. There are underlined numbers too that I did not notice. Underlined letters. You know what I mean. Okay. F. Is that the first one? Yes. Oh, okay, so it's going to be 40 or 50. 40. E 48. Yeah, 48. Okay. There are underlined ones too. That's okay. 48. That's fine. Next page. Nope. One more. There we go. The Queen's Secret Entrance. And this is from 25, which is the correct one. Yep. 48. You carefully put the torn letter back into your pocket. There's more to that note, you're sure. Yeah. Enamel mugs hang from the hooks beside the stove with its empty cocoa jug. 2 hooks are empty. A quick glance through the register book on the desk confirms it. There were 2 people on duty tonight, the foreman and an engineer. This chap is still out cold, Holmes, Watson says from his position on the floor, but his hand has started twitching in a most peculiar way. You squat down next to Watson and lift the unconscious man's right arm to inspect his hand. It's too clean to be that of an engineer, and there's a smudge of blue ink on the index finger. So this is the foreman, and the work on the word puzzle was his. Watson is correct. The man is making the smallest of turning motions with his hand, alternating clockwise and anti-clockwise. You count them carefully. Okay. Do y'all mind? All three of the dogs, all three of them are asleep under me and are just snoring so loudly. I'm saying this into the ether because there's an ad break currently. So I'm just going to take another sip of my cocoa. And we will continue shortly. Snooze fest. I will send photos. It is hysterical. Like, now they've shifted positions, but oh my god. It is genuinely the cutest thing. Like, Dahlia came over to me. Yes, they will absolutely all be sleeping on me later. Well, Dahlia came over to me earlier. She was in the kitchen and she jumped onto my lap and was shaking. And so I put a sweater on her and I put her into the bed and she was just so happy. She immediately started snuggling with Rosie. She was just like, "This is my warmth. Give it to me." It was very cute. They do not like the cold weather and I do not blame them. But in any case, the ad break is just about over. And then we will start anew. Okay, so the Queen's Secret Service. Yes, it's out cold, blah, blah, blah. So you count the alternating clockwise and anti-clockwise motions carefully. You walk towards the portrait of the Queen. Your hands naturally hold the frame about a third of the way down. Just as you expected, it is easy to lift off the wall. Ooh, good luck with that. So take down the picture, turn to 96. Oop, there. The code of the foreman's hand. Oh, interesting. We have another use of this. I'll tell you right now. Oh, no, there's multiple steps. Okay. So, if you want to join in, there's the website again. I will be reading the steps out for you. Okay, so you lift the portrait of the Queen from the wall to reveal a safe, which is what I was expecting. A cast iron plaque on the front declares it to be a product of the Withy Grove Stores Safe Company, which happens to be one of several types with which you are familiar. Of course, conveniently, like you do. So, the wheel will make a satisfying click as you spin it through the correct pattern of turns. You expect the right sequence to be the one you've just read from the movements of the foreman's hand. Start by turning the code wheel to input letter X and check that this reveals the number 6. So we're going to X. And yes, it does reveal 6 for me. Okay. So we are on X. We want to turn the dial anti-clockwise, counterclockwise for Americans, 6 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I love the physicality of this. This is very satisfying. Okay. Note the number shown on the dial at the end of the first move. Okay. Okay, when you're ready. So you've turned the dial 6 places. For me, that input is D and the number is 1. So that's the thing that we need to note. So on the second step, note the number shown on the dial at the end of the first move, 1. Turn the dial clockwise as many places as shown by that number. So I've moved it to C, and the output is 7. Okay. Next, note the new number. Turn the dial anti-clockwise as many places as shown by that number. So moving it 7 spaces anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm writing things down because then if things are wrong later, we can look it up. Okay. So I've done that, and my answer is J3. Then turn the dial clockwise the number of places shown by the number at the end of the third move. So moving it 3 places clockwise. 1, 2, 3. I'm intrigued by this. So it says you are finally in position. Carefully note the output letter. Output letter. Not number, output letter. There are instructions at the front of the escape book if you're unsure. Now turn the code wheel so that the input letter window shows that letter. I love this. Wrong direction. What did you all get? If you participated. So what I got was I as the output letter, which leads us to the number 4, which doesn't matter because we need the color, which is blue. Yep, see ya soon, Tim. I'll be finishing up probably in about 20 or so minutes for the night. Okay. So the color shown in the color wheel for me is blue. I'm glad you're finished with the call from your boss. So I got blue, which means that we need to turn to page 63. Or not page, I keep saying page, but number 63. A cracked safe. The safe wheel retracts its bolts and you swing its heavy door open. Inside is a bundle of documents. You lift them out and take them to the table. Sit down and look through the documents. Turn to page 46. Go, page, you know what I mean. Go me. I'm proud of myself. The Daily Gazette, which there's a picture of. At first glance, the collection of documents found in the safe are just the sorts of things that one might expect from the business of the pumping station. But you know there's more to what's going on here than meets the eye. So you scan through them quickly and pick one item that looks especially interesting. It's a page from a 6-month-old edition of the Daily Gazette, which has some holes punched in it. Interesting. Find and identify the missing letters, then decode them using the code wheel. Perhaps you may need to rearrange them to make a number. Turn to the number you have discovered. Okay. I'm not going to take a picture for this because it would be really hard to see. So G, grief, is missing. Court, C, is missing. And I'm not putting them in any particular order since that doesn't matter. 4th Street and Finsbury pavement, P is missing. Like, this is genuinely hard for me to see, thus the need for a magnifying glass, but you know what, it's fine. The Pika returns. Here, I'll read this aloud because why not? More than 60 years after the departing from Plymouth, the fabled HMS Pika has finally returned home. The Pika, the sister ship to the HMS Beagle, was set to accompany the Beagle on a survey expedition headed for South America. Unfortunately, tragedy struck just a week out of port when the Extreme, with an X, weather forced the ships in different directions. No word was heard from the Pika or its crew until now. Not ruined by the storm, the ship continued its journey, J, down the coast of Africa into strange waters at the bottom of the world. Reverend Jackson Whitehead, the ship's chaplain, kept a diary of the trip and created a series of typographic specimens made of letter forms, numerals, and punctuation marks, based on the animals that he discovered during his travels. Interesting. Reverend Jackson Whitehead, circa 1850. That's what he looks like. Let's see. Irene Adler Institute of Etiquette and Deportment. Hey. Ladies, do you get flustered with your forks when dining out? Worried about how to address an archduke? Uncertain that you alight from vehicular conveyances with sufficient decorum and elegance? Fear that your correspondence, P... So we've got 2 P's, is not literate? Fret no more. Sign up to the exclusive Irene Adler Institute and learn how to comport yourself to your social advantage by appointment to the Royal House of Bohemia. Lost and found. Gentleman's aluminum crutch, slightly dented on the lower portion, left on the Metropolitan line somewhere between Baker Street and Pinner on the evening of January J. 5th. Small reward, box number 9877. Okay. You know what? I'll read the other things as well to you guys. But while I do, feel free to input these into the decoder. Oop. I'm typing things. GCPPX. J. Oh, whatever. That's fine. So these are the letters. Let's see. Wow, you were just telling me how you worry about alighting some vehicular conveyances with... Okay, I forget the rest of the sentence. Right? Okay, so I'm going to read the rest. Feel free to decode. So, notorious canary trainer was up before the beak. Aloysius Norbert Wilson of Eversholt Street, London Northwest, was bound over for 12 months at Bow Street Magistrates Court last night after being charged with drunkenness and lewd behavior in the Tottenham Court Road. In his defense, Wilson claimed that the death by cat of his favorite bird Delilah had left him inconsolable and grief had driven him to uncharacteristic behavior. He asked for 29 other convictions to be taken into account. Okay. Cool. The bogus laundry affair. Turn to page 26 to read more about the sensational undoing of the Somerstown coiners. And then fatal accident. A collision on Tuesday at the junction of 4th Street and Finsbury Pavement has resulted in the unfortunate death of Mr. Allergan Algie Pope. He was crossing the road when he was struck by an out-of-control hansom. Mr. Pope, a bookseller, was recently married to Alice, daughter of Mr. Sidney Robert Smith, Esquire, governor of Newgate Jail. Interesting. The unfortunate woman now faces life as a young widow and mother as she was carrying Mr. Pope's unborn child at the time of the tragic accident. Okay, well, on that note, I am going to decode. We have a C. 7. Oh, am I spelling things? Hang on. Letters. I was like, that'd be too many numbers. That's wrong. Okay, and then we've got an X, which is an N. Let's see. P, J, and G. 2 Fs, so probably a 50. or teen? 15. Okay, it spells 15. And I think that with this one, this is where we will stop after I read this one for the night. And we will continue this next time, whenever next time may be. Let's see. You've solved the code of the punched letters, but that's not the only puzzle amongst the documents you took from the safe. Another jumps out at you, an engineer's docket, and it has a name you recognize scrawled in a message at the top, written in what appears to be lipstick. You read the words aloud. Remember Gloria Scott. That side. Watson looks up. That name sounds familiar, he says. Indeed it should, you reply. The Gloria Scott was a ship, and the key to one of my first cases. I told you about it once. Back while I was at university, and long before we met, I was called to the home of a friend, Victor Trevor. His father had died after suffering a stroke, the cause of which was apparently a letter he had received in the post. The letter was seemingly trivial, certainly not grotesque enough to cause such a reaction. Had I missed something? If there was a hidden meaning in it, I was confident that I could pluck it forth. For an hour I sat pondering over it in the gloom, until at last a weeping maid brought in a lamp, and close at her heels came my friend Trevor, pale but composed. I dare say my face looked as bewildered as yours did just now when I first read the message. Then I reread it very carefully. It was evidently as I had thought, and some secret meaning must lie buried in this strange combination of words. I tried it backwards, but the combination was not encouraging. Then I tried alternate words, but they failed to throw any light upon it. And then in an instant, the key of the riddle was in my hands, and I saw that every third word, beginning with the first, would give a message which might well drive old Trevor to despair. You look at the engineer's docket and search for the hidden meaning, the hidden message. Okay, so every third word starting with the first, which I'm assuming is G for grand, but it might be something else. Hello, Rocket. Doing okay? Hi, baby. Hi, honey. She just woke up. Okay. So remember Gloria Scott. So I'll read it aloud first. Grand Junction Waterworks. Engineer Site Report Docket. Site QGJWW. Date of inspection 10 September. Superintendent J. Carruthers. Rocket. You're okay. Hi, baby. Okay. You know what? I'm going to assume that it starts with the actual, memo. Hang on. Rocket is having a time. You okay, baby? Hi, old lady. Hi, good girl. Yes. Okay. Our engineers have reported to you that they found evidence that the topmost spinning governor is not yet regulating pressures below 201 BF squared, causing the accumulation of steam in the engine inlet pipes. So we have our reported every third. Oh. One. Rocket. Shush. This is a sign that it's time to stop. Our reported that evidence topmost is, sorry, the dogs are barking at me. You know what? We'll leave it on a cliffhanger there. We will come back next time, whenever that may be, with the solving of the engineer's docket and remembering Gloria Scott. So I will see y'all on Thursday for Pokemon, and have a good one. Bye.